Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
New at noon, the fugitive who walked away from a halfway house this past weekend is now back in jail. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Schreier. Juan Martinez was arrested in North Fargo around 1:45 this morning. He was seen being picked up in a vehicle, which was later stopped by the Fargo Police Department. Martinez walked away from Center Inc. on Sunday, where he was serving time for a 2015 felon in possession of a weapon charge. The investigation is now ongoing to determine what additional charges will be filed. Also new at noon, the Bemidji Police Department is warning the community about a high-risk sex offender moving to that area. Tomorrow, 42-year-old Gerald Browneagle will be living in the 600 block of 4th Street Northwest. He's about 6'1", 344 pounds. Pictures up on your screen right now. Browneagle has a history of sexually assaulting a young girl, a teenage girl, and a woman. High-risk offenders are considered the most likely to reoffend. We have new information this afternoon on the Royal Liquors robbery investigation in Fargo. Police believe they now have the suspect behind bars. Police believe a 21-year-old Bilal Shahid of Fargo robbed the liquor store with a handgun in early September. Investigators say Shahid posted on Snapchat and Instagram bragging about his robbery. Court documents say Shahid is also tied to the robbery of that same liquor store back in 2018 and a Moorhead drug robbery in this past February. There were several warrants out for his arrest. Taking that live look outside right now, it's a pretty calm and moderate temperature day, I would say, for what we've experienced at least. For what we can expect in the rest of our forecast, let's head on over to meteorologist Lisa Green.
Our numbers are up. We're in the upper 30s, some low 40s. It's already soared to 43 degrees right now in Fargo, so feeling pretty mild out there. Temperatures everywhere above freezing this afternoon and staying there as we continue through the daytime hours. Looking at our visibility reports, we had some issues earlier on. Today, that is improving, though there may still be a couple of areas where we have a flurry or two, or perhaps a sprinkle impacting us in our eastern viewing area especially. Here's a look at the latest radar and satellite loop. You can see there's a sharp cutoff where the clouds clear, and that's over by Minot, east of Bismarck, just outside of our viewing area. We do have a couple of pockets of clearing here and there, but overall you can see we're mostly cloudy, and you can also see that there are some pockets of green and even some blue north of the border showing up. So again, can't rule out the potential for an isolated sprinkle or a flurry as we continue into the afternoon hours today. We want to look ahead to tomorrow through Thursday morning. We've got snow on the way, and here's a look at that snowfall potential map. I'll have more on the timing of this and just how much we can expect to see too coming up in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. In our schemes and ripoffs this afternoon, the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office is warning about a jury duty scam. A caller claiming to be with the Sheriff's Department says that you can get out of jury duty if you pay a fee, but that's not true. A reminder to never give out your money or personal information over the phone without verifying the identity of the caller. A man is in jail on nearly a dozen charges after police say he led them on a 95-mile-per-hour chase in Grand Forks. Officers pulled over 45-year-old Robert Fowley Jr. early this morning near UND, but he took off, and they say he ended up driving around town at high speeds. He then crashed into the back of another car on Columbia Road and tried running away, but police nabbed him just before he got into Walmart. Fowley is in jail for a number of charges, including reckless endangerment, drug possession, and driving under suspension. Police say he also has 3 active warrants. The driver whose car he hit was not hurt. A horse owner is looking for answers after finding their horse dead. Wadena County investigators say the horse's owner found the animal dead of a gunshot wound last Wednesday night near Nimrod, Minnesota. The animal was a colt, and it was inside a horse stable. They found it with a bullet hole to the abdomen. If you know anything about this case, call the Wadena County Sheriff's Office. 2 correctional officers responsible for guarding Jeffrey Epstein will now soon face charges. According to reports, the 2 correctional officers will face federal charges for falsifying prison records. The charges came this morning. Epstein's death was ruled a suicide. He was found unconscious in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. The officers are suspected of falling asleep, but falsifying records to indicate they were checking on Epstein every half an hour as required. Both correctional officers have now been taken into custody. About 100 anti-government protesters are still holed up at a Hong Kong university, with their food running low as the police siege enters its third day. Police are waiting them out after 10 days of some of the most intense protests the city has seen in more than 5 months of unrest. Matt Bradley reports from Hong Kong.
This morning, desperate parents begging authorities to spare their children after a weekend of stunning violence between police and protesters in Hong Kong. I spoke with parents whose 16-year-old son is still trapped inside. They're hoping he'll leave today for the hospital. His father thinks he has hypothermia. Are you proud of your son?
He had give so much effort and sacrificed so many things for the Hong Kong.
Young anti-government demonstrators taking over Hong Kong Polytechnic University late last week, fighting off police with Molotov cocktails, bows and arrows, even catapults, turning the campus into a fortress of dissent. Politicians and parents trying to coax the youngest protesters out. Hong Kong's leader, Carrie Lam, saying at least 200 children have been allowed to leave under a temporary amnesty deal. About 400 protesters have already been arrested and are facing serious charges and jail time. The latest clash at the university following months of unrest. And now those adult protesters who are still holed up inside, they're very reluctant to come out. Their fight with the police has become personal, and they can expect very little mercy. But now we're hearing about new protests not far from here, so we can expect fresh confrontations. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Hong Kong.
More than 1,000 people have been arrested in the past day for offenses including rioting and possession of offensive weapons. In our consumer alert this afternoon, a vegan customer is suing Burger King over its Impossible Whopper. The lawsuit alleges the fast food chain is contaminating its meatless Impossible Whoppers by cooking them on the same grills as its traditional meat burgers. The lawsuit filed in Miami federal court seeks damages for all purchasers of the Impossible Whopper. It also seeks an injunction requiring Burger King to plainly disclose that Impossible Whoppers and regular burgers are cooked on the same grills. Burger King declined to comment.